Now, our feature presentation.
Last Call with Dan Murphy.
And there you go. That's how we do it. Welcome to another episode of Last Call. Well, hi there. I'm Dan Murphy. It's great to be with you today, and thank you so much for joining us. Since we've been talking about your books and some of your endeavors that are happening today, I do want to mention a new program you have going to the M3 LifeStyle.com program, and we're going to come up on a break here in a minute. But can you elaborate a little bit about what that is? I know it's relatively new and has to do with power thinking and fitness and nutrition, and that's going to tie right in with what we want to talk about after this break.
Great. You want to do that a little bit now?
Yeah, touch on it so we can set the people up for it.
Well, let me just tell you just a little bit of a history. A few years ago, I was in Florida, and I had heard about a celebrity trainer there called Moe El-Sayed. And, you know, Moe had trained people like Missy Elliott, Mark Strickland, members of the royal family of Jordan. So I was eager to talk to this guy. As you know, I'm kind of into fitness and marathon training.
Marathon, man, I know you.
Yeah. So I got to meet with Moe, and we sat down, and we just sat for hours talking about fitness and psychology, and I was really amazed because what I found was that Moe and I had one vision, and that was that there needed to be a marriage between fitness and psychology, and he lives by that as I do. And we came together and we started to formulate a plan and a program. We had the good fortune to meet our great nutritionist, Tracy Taylor, and we even brought in an incredible chef, Dean Wazari. And we have a wonderful team that puts together a fitness program. And the M3 is called Mindset, Motivation, Moderation. And that's what it's all about. You know, the three pillars of nutrition, fitness, and psychology. But it all comes down to, what goes on inside, the mindset, motivation, and all things in moderation. And that's kind of just a thumbnail sketch of what the program is about. And, that's why one of the things with the M3 Lifestyle program is that, we recognize that you really need to encourage and not discourage. And that's why every exercise plan needs to be geared in such a way that there's flexibility incorporated in it, that there's a capacity that you don't have to feel guilty if you have a piece of pizza or if you miss a workout. You've got to always be encouraged to recognize that let's take the concept of mistake. You should erase that from your lexicon. There should be no mistakes. Anything that comes about that you feel is a mistake is truly an opportunity to learn and go forward, to propel yourself forward. That's what the whole power thinking philosophy is in M3. And I developed that power thinking primarily to kind of give a glimpse of a new form of motivation, a motivation that capitalizes on every aspect of our life, positive and negative. I don't see negatives as deterrents. I honestly see negatives as opportunities. And once you start reframing the way you approach your life and value everything that you do, positive and negative, I think that you really give yourself a total advantage to really break through some of the tried and true habits that hold us back.
With your works, your printed works, and your audio books and things that you do in your therapeutic endeavors and other things that you are involved and committed to, you no doubt help a lot of people in that area.
Well, I'll tell you, Dan, it's the one thing that this is a relatively it's an extension. M3 Lifestyle is an extension of all that self-coaching background, and you're right. It's now moving me toward more of a motivational kind of guy, and it's always been a part of me. I do it with patients. I find that patients expect passivity from a therapist and a psychologist, and I find that, and I tell them right from the beginning, that's the last thing you're going to get from me is passivity. If you come in here and tell me you can't, I'm going to get in your face. That's just not going to happen in my office. So you really need to motivate people. You need to let them know that they can't give in to, that part of them that wants to throw up their hands. And life is really about optimism or pessimism. Both are choices, and we can make either one. And the person that chooses pessimism is the person that's really quitting on themselves. So sometimes it's really just all about motivation, because that's the internal motor. Without motivation, the wheels don't turn.
Yeah, I gotta tell you too that passivity is not my cup of tea in my office either. It's not going to happen, because it is about motivation some way or another. You got to motivate yourself to do contrary action or whatever it may be that's troubling you. So that's really, really important for me. So,
Dan, what do you think about the concept, or the name of my concept, called power thinking? How do you relate to that?
I like it. I think it's very a positive term, and I noticed that in something that I saw in writing, and it was called. It was put together in such a way that you were combining your psychology, your motivational contribution, called power thinking, and I thought that was just an absolute perfect summary of what you try to do, that you're trying to share with the people.
Yeah, let's face it. When it comes to any kind of fitness or just reclaiming health, it's not the exercise it's never the exercise that defeats us. It's really never life that defeats us. It's how we interpret and what we say to ourselves. And I'm sure you know, Dan, that the power of the mind, what we tell ourselves and what we believe. You take, for example, positive affirmations. There's a lot of programs and a lot of people that are out there just saying, you can do it, and you know what, that's fine, and that's 50% of the battle. But unless you're able to embrace, unless you believe what you're telling yourself, it ain't going to happen. So one of the things that's very important to me in motivational psychology is to really help someone embrace the positives, the affirmations that are being thrown out, to embrace them and believe them. Because once you believe, you will become.
Well, you're absolutely right. And as you well know, Dr. Luciani, that there's a great movement afoot with regard to motivational interviewing. And it's practiced in very many circles, including my own, and I see the direct results of bringing people into that realm of motivating with encouragement. Of course, you can do it. You've done it before. You can do it again. What's the deal? Mm-hmm. And so you're absolutely right on base.
Yeah. It's life is it's got to be seen as an interpretation, and I think it's very important, because when someone is wedded with the belief that their life is so bad or their struggle is so intense that they have no choice, then of course they've just bought into that negativity. Yeah. And negatives are oftentimes an excuse that we buy into to help us avoid what's necessary to go forward. Now, it's a twofold problem. I mean, we want to avoid it because we don't have the tools to go forward, and we want to avoid it because we don't have the belief and the self-trust. But you see, that's where I think real motivation comes in, and where power thinking comes in, because basically what you need to do is you need to reverse that naysaying thinking and prove to somebody that, you know what, everything you need, you already possess. You don't have to go out and find it or buy it. It's there. You need to access it. And what you need is just a little help to realize the simple truth that everything you need to succeed, to be fit, to be healthy, everything you need, it's already there.
Wow. What a way to wind it down, Joe. We are flat running out of time. It's unbelievable how fast it goes. And